Today I'm going to introduce you to the Character in the Box project. This will be what you will be doing for your reading activity instead of literacy groups. You should have collected your pack from school by now, but if you haven't, I will place the Character in the Box project on Seesaw for you to print out. Inside your pack is the Character in the Box project, including the rubric. The first part of this project is to select an appropriate book. The book needs to have a strong main character that is important and memorable. You will also need to collect a medium to large cereal box to present your project. You can spray paint your cereal box or paint it or decorate it in any way you choose to make your box presentable. There are different assignment components. There is the front panel. On the front panel, you need to write the title of the book that you have selected, the author, and a picture of your character. You can either draw or print out your picture. I would love to see some drawings of your books because it would show that you are making much more of an effort than just printing out a picture. So just have a think about that. It doesn't have to be the exact same front cover as the book itself. You can create a cover of the book of your own design. You will need to also include your name and your class. On one of the smaller side panels, you will need to write about 2 of your character's personality traits. You will need to include 1 paragraph for each of these traits, using supporting evidence from the text to assist you in your descriptions. That means if you read about your character being impatient, you need to write that quote down where it shows that they have been impatient and write what page you found that information. On the second side panel, you would write about how your character interacts with other characters in the book. You would be jotting down information while you are reading and making sure you're including the pages just in case you want to go back and write the paragraph about one particular character that your character interacts with. You will also need quotes and the page number to support your evidence. On the back panel, you will need to explain how your character changed throughout the text. What was your character like at the beginning of the text and then at the end? Were there any noticeable differences? And describe the events that caused the change. You'll also need to have supporting evidence. Once again, quotes and the pages you found this information from. Inside the box, you will need to have 5 items that associate with your character. You will need to explain these in your oral presentation. Your project and oral presentation will be due in week 10. You will need to be ready on Monday of week 10 to present your presentation. If we are working remotely, you will need to record yourself presenting your oral presentation. If we are at school, you will need to present your character in the box project to the class. There are certain things we will be looking for in the oral presentation. We will be looking for the fact that you can explain your character and the book that they appear in. Briefly explain the information presented on the panels of your cereal box. And also explain what the 5 items that you have chosen are. There is a success criteria also at the bottom of the project there on the first page for you to read through. The next few pages in your booklet will give you space to plan. When you are filling this out, you will need to take photos of what you have done, and you can upload those to Seesaw for your teacher to look at and make sure that we can guide you in the right direction. So you have the front panel space there. You might do a sketch of what you're going to draw and some ideas, and then practice again at the draft before you do it on the actual front cover. The character's personality traits, so in the planning space, as you are reading, you would write down the page numbers and the quotes. And then in the draft space, that is where you would start to write your paragraph, including some of those quotes and page numbers as your evidence. You probably wouldn't need all of them, but it's better to have more evidence than not enough. You would do the same for the character interaction. So while you are reading your book, if you see that your character is interacting a lot with another character, you might write that page down and a quote from their interactions. The draft space, once again, would be for you to write your paragraph down before you then publish it on the computer to print out to put on your box. The back panel would be where you are looking at how the character changes throughout the text. So where you see the character behaving one way at the beginning, you would write that quote down. You would write the page down, and then again towards the end, and there may be a defining moment in the book where that change takes place, and you can write the page number and the quote for that as well. Then you have the draft space once again to write your paragraph before you print it out. As you are reading your text, you would think about things that you could put inside your box. So as you are reading in the planning space, I would just jot down some ideas of things that you might be able to find. If you would like to get a good grade, you will need to be prepared to find things that are quite difficult or more harder to find other than just drawing those things on paper. If you decide to draw your 5 items on paper and you have not made too much of an effort to go and find items, you would be looking at probably getting a D for that section. You need to be finding items that you could make. You can draw, but not all of them. You might find them. I'll explain on the next video what sort of things I mean. And you have a draft space again to make sure you are sure how you are going to present those 5 items in your oral presentation. I will also be putting up 2 more videos. One will be of the character in the box rubric, and the other will be of the photos that show you an example of a character in the box, just so you're clear with what to do. See you soon.